Little story in the Bible, in the Old Testament, about a guy called Elijah. You'll find it in 1 Kings 18 and 19. Elijah was a warrior and a prophet. He fought against the enemies of his nation, and in a spectacular battle at the top of Mount Carmel, Elijah called down fire from heaven, making him the first ever recorded Royal Artillery forward observation officer. That fire burned up the altar and the sacrifice, demonstrating that Elijah's God was more powerful than that of his enemies. In the fight that followed, Elijah put to the sword 450 of his enemies. Mount Carmel was a massive victory for Elijah. In Special Forces terms, it was a spectacular, bigger maybe even than Operation Nimrod. Probably more devastating than the raid on Pebble Island, maybe even more significant than Operation Paris. The Mount Carmel operation made Elijah a winner. Elijah was so excited by the victory and how it would change his nation that he immediately ran all the way to a place called Jezreel, the equivalent of a marathon. The problem was that Elijah's victory didn't change his nation. The spectacular on Mount Carmel was quickly forgotten. All that Elijah had done was dismissed. The queen, Jezebel, even threatened to have Elijah killed. After the victory, Elijah ran away to the wilderness. He sat down under a tree and he asked to die. He had done all that was wanted of him. He'd done what he thought was right, but after the battle, nobody wanted Elijah. Nobody wanted what he stood for. For Elijah, the real battle was just beginning. One of the biggest issues we have with our warriors, our veterans, is bringing them home. After the battle, when all that they have done is forgotten, even criticized, where their sacrifice is ignored, when they are even pursued by the courts, how do we bring them home? How do we create a society that allows our veterans to live by the values for which they fought and live in the memory of those colleagues that they've lost? And for those in our special forces, for those who cannot tell their story, whose work cannot be made public, how do we tell them that they have a place in our world? People like Dave Penman. Well, this bench is a start, but it's only a start. 1 Kings 19, in the wilderness, God put Elijah back together. He was told that he was not alone, that there were 7,000 others just like him. In the stillness of the wilderness, through peace and quiet, God spoke to Elijah, the warrior pilgrim, and brought him home. We need benches, we need memorials like this, but we need much more. We need to tell the story of those who cannot tell their story. We need to hold the memory of our warriors in order for them to come home after the battle.